I pick early quarters, not like you. So I'm going for the Saints. And you can see there Sam Fisher lined up on Buddy Franklin. Brett Voss has moved into the back line for the Saints as well. He has played there a lot, of course. Fisher is a good player. This will be a great contest between those two.
And Buddy showing he's not going to cop any nonsense. I'm with you, Rob. I'm sticking fast to the Saints. But we look as though we've really got a game on our hands here. There's no takeaway. There'll be another ball up. And what a night it is for three young Saints. Two young Queenslanders making their debuts, both on the bench at the outset, Howard and Armitage. So here we go. It's Taylor rucking against Kajitsky, and takeaway to Montagna for the Saints. Revolt leading Birchall. Birchall's got the big job by the look of it. Now Milne, who has Ladson for company, takes him over the line.
I think it'll be Campbell Brown, Tim, who's playing on Revolt. Birchall just got across to help out there, but Campbell Brown again has got the job on a bigger opponent.
So St Kilda attacking, going to the punt right end. Crawford though the takeaway for the Hawks, and it's a clean move. Saul now having such an outstanding season. The kick's not great. Fiora, good collect on the run. Couldn't afford to hesitate there. Kick not so good because Ladson was arriving. Bateman now for the Hawks. And now Birchall, who's playing back and looks as though he has a job to try and help out with Campbell Brown on Revolt.
Well, both teams have an extra man in defence already, Birchall and Fiora.
Whereas kick misses the target. And we've seen him produce quite a few turnovers in the last few weeks. That was a bad miss. But the Hawks still had possession. Handball, look out, bang! Young gets dealt with, and we'll have a bounce on the southern stand wing.
Brad Sewell doing a tagging job on Del Santo, and he's done that exceptionally well in recent weeks.
Hawthorn's kicking efficiency, or disposal efficiency, has improved dramatically this year, but Guerra's one man who does have a propensity to turn the ball over a little bit too much. Crawford, handball to Guerra, gets drilled in the back, and that'll be a free kick. Former Saint, of course, Brent Guerra played 31 games for St Kilda and 65 with the Power before that, averaging 19 touches a game this year, Brent Guerra. Here's Lewis having his career best season so far. Pops it over the top to Young. Still keeps the ball alive. Good effort. Kicks to the hot spot. Bateman spilt the beans. Now Gilbert. And the Saints are away. This is Revolt.
An impressive Sam Gilbert. Milne coming a long way up the ground. Been kicking goals recently, 13 in his last 5 games. Brooks has Gillen as his opponent. Brooks lining up in attack. And it's a hole in the ball. A lot of those dished out last night. It made a comeback. I thought in Adelaide last night. Mitchell trying to slip into the tackle and make it look like a high one. But probably a good call from umpire Vozzo. Now Lee Fisher, with the Hawks getting back in more than healthy numbers. Kujitsky.
Well, they've taken it virtually from one wing to the other with a series of short passes, tempo football, patient football.
And it's causing Revolt to have to do a lot of running as St Kilda build up, but Hawthorn with almost a full flood on. Ambitious pass, Ladson making the spoil on the bigger man, Kajitsky. Clever Revolt. Now ball, Voss, and Kajitsky still lurking. That was a little cute. Ball again, back to Kajitsky, says you do it. And he does. Long, Gehrig with Crode his opponent. And Crode did well in their first contest. Birchall taking the crumb. Now Hodge, the G-train coming after him, but Hodge has got a bit much toe.
And he goes straight down the guts as he has 3 bounces and he loads up on the left. Chips and finds his man in Boyle.
Fantastic chip pass by Hodge.
Bateman's running back into the goal square. The kick's long, it's offline. It's through for points. First score of the match.
So Sam Fisher on Buddy Franklin and Gwilt playing on Doyle.
And at the other end, it's Crode on Gehrig, as mentioned. Lee Fisher now to Montagna. And he has a man loose on the wing. It's Kajitsky again. And he has Blake, who's run out of defence to give him a target. And this is a good move by the Saints. Very wide kick, though. Poor kick from Blake. letting himself down. Oh, G-Train, that's 50. That's almost 100.
Well, it was a nice old stage by Trent
He
Crowe.
saw it coming and he took a dive, didn't he?
Let's have a look at this. 50-metre penalty for that. He's angry. He's an angry man.
No, it's 50 for the face and 50 for the bump.
Oh.
Now, from the free kick, they've turned it over the Hawks. Crowe was caught trying to play on, and now his man's got the football. That's going to hurt.
Well, it will hurt. And we wanted the G train to be angry. Well, he's come out angry all right. He's steaming. There's Trent Crowe. And gee, that was slow, wasn't it? Bad awareness. And Ross Lyon would be delighted that Mill has been able to put on a tackle like that early in the game. Just lifts everybody's spirits.
How the fortunes can change. 30 seconds ago it was a mug, Fraser Garrick. Now he's shooting for goal. And he's missed.
Well, he slipped when he kicked.
He's kicked 16 goals in his last 3 matches against Hawthorn, so he likes them. And he's in form. He's kicked 10 in the last 2 weeks, but he finished up on his back there. That wasn't what he was looking for from that shot at goal. Guerra playing to himself. There's not much on offer. And he's forced onto the wrong side. But he does it okay. And he finds Hodge, who set up a forward move so brilliantly a few minutes ago. That's a lovely delivery again. Sewell having a little bit of it early. And Guerra again, but it's a poor kick. And Lee Fisher getting a good feel of the footy early to Gwilt and back to Fisher. And the Saints are playing pretty confidently for a team racked with injury. 9 or 10, you could say, would be almost certain inclusions in their best team aren't lining up tonight. It will be a victory for their depth if they can hold Hawthorn and win this. And Revolt is giving Campbell Brown plenty to think about early.
The only thing is, Tim, he's getting them well away from the 50-metre arc.
Little short one to Lee Fisher. Not much has happened so far score-wise. Just a point to both teams.
Well, the Saints are just flipping it around because Hawthorn's got all of their numbers back. It's a massive flood that the Hawks have got on. And so we'll see St Kilda just go laterally for a while.
This is Sam Gilbert. Kicks to Voss. He's got some room to move here. Chips to half forward. And the mark's taken by Blake. So patience for St Kilda here. He kicks to Kazitsky. Is right on 50. Wheels around. Kicks to the hot spot. Revolt's got the big run. Won't get there in time. Hawthorn win the ball. Brown. Short. Cleaned up by Young. And his kick finds Crawford. Quick to Mitchell. Now he's got nothing to kick to, so he's got to double back. And it's a pretty ordinary left foot kick. Fiora will get there first. He's got Fisher in support. And he goes short to his namesake. And now the Saints are going to switch. And this is Gwilt.
Revolt again on the lead. Gwilt ignoring him.
Composed in defence. Gilbert again. Clever. Sam Fisher. And St Kilda build dangerously. And it's Blake leading Hodge to it. Needed to be clean, and Hodge has beaten him. And he started very well. Poor kick. Revolt and Brown at ground level. And it'll be a throw in. Fraser Gehrig running into Crowd a moment ago. No wonder Crowd got into trouble when he played on. He had them coming at him from all angles. Not happy with Fraser, not happy with the fan in the crowd. McGlynn for Hawthorn. Del Santo in close attendance, but forced a retreat. Lewis, well played by Luke Ball. 14 tackles last week. That's the kind of pressure he applies.
The other end of the ground, the Hawks have got their 4 players set up as they always do. St Kilda have got 5 players back there, so they've got the extra man in defence, the Saints. You can see a good shot of it there.
6, Rod. They've got 2 extras.
Yeah, they've got 2 extras in defence there. So every time Hawthorn's gone forward, it's just come back so quickly.
To the 50. And mark to Revolt. Now Birchall. As the Hawks swarm out of defence again into the middle. This is McGlynn.
Well, they hold up here because they haven't got too much to go to with the extra St Kilda players back.
Another skill error from the Hawks. Causes the turnover. Fiora. Interesting start to this game, isn't it, boys?
First goal will be valuable.
And this is Gehrig. 4 goals he needs for the 500 mark. Revolt. He just couldn't hang on to it. Crowd. Now Young. And we start again. This time the Hawks go out wide. Here's Franklin for his first touch. And he slapped it towards McGlynn, and now he bolts away at his buddy Franklin. McGlynn goes into the middle and finds Mitchell.
Well, we've gone 12 minutes for one score. That's because both teams are loading their back halves.
Osborne back to the run of Young, who loads up from 55. He's a thumping kick. It's across the face and it's a point.
Campbell Brown, just terrific to get a spoil in there on Revolt, not give away the free kick. And that's a terrific shot of why you have smaller defenders playing on the bigger forwards. They don't kick it high in the air to the big forwards nowadays, or not very often. It's mainly to a forward on the lead, so you need a smaller defender to be able to run with him to get a fist on it like we saw with Brown.
Scott Lucas, of course, experiencing a lot of that for Essendon, not the tallest of key forwards. There's a dangerous ball hanging in the air, and Bateman will be a bit quick for Koschitzki when it hits the deck. So Hawthorn can press again. And this time they're a bit of a chance. Osborne poking it to Dixon. Still can't get a possession, but goes back to it, and he might hear. I don't know whether it'll go into the book. Burst for the Saints trying to prize it out. There'll be a ball up out of that. Martin Ellis to step in and prize them apart. Michael Vozzo, Martin Ellis and Stefan Grun, and under the watchful eye of St Kilda's first season coach, Ross Lyon, having such an impact, changing the St Kilda method. Taylor, but straight to Burst. Well tackled, Hawthorn a chance. Crawford just a bit quick for Franklin. Mitchell having to take it away from goal to Taylor. Crawford again, clever. Bateman, can he shrug and balance? He can, and he can finish it with the first goal of the night to the Hawks. It's a big goal. Been a real arm wrestle. And it didn't come easily.
Well, it's been a patient and long build-up, hasn't it? But they finally got what they wanted. And it just may well be one of those kind of games where a dozen goals might be enough to get you over the line.
First goal of the night goes to Chance Bateman. Shane Crawford, 6 disposals so far, Rob, all handballs.
Yeah, and he's been running, he's been quick, and he's been sharing.
Lee Fisher's got 7 for the Saints. This is Hodge in the middle. Bangs it onto the left boot, quickly back inside 50. Gilbert. Under pressure, but did well. Got it to Fisher, and that's a nice switch to Montagna. And he's got about 25 metres to work with. He chips to the wing to Blake, and he takes the mark.
Blake's been playing against Luke Hodge in very much a negative role.
Kick backwards goes to Gwilt. And his kick finds Harvey.
We're not seeing very many kicks to contests, are we? It's just trying to find a teammate who's got a 2 or 3 yard advantage. Here we go again.
And the mark's taken by Revolt.
It's his 4th mark. 5 disposals already. Not sure what Gehrig meant by that. Ricks in the middle almost. And now a chance for first gamer Sweeney, who has a ping and misses well wide.
Milne, back 2 metres.
And St Kilda's only 2 scoring shots have both been misses.
Right on the mark.
Shane Crawford will have a kick. Finds Ladson. Gillam, who's having a good season for the Hawks. And Joel Smith in his first touch in season 2007 back in big-time football. Wasn't a great one as he put his teammate under the hammer in Young, and the umpire will bounce.
Okay, easy.
Gee, a good tackle by the ruckman,
Michael,
though.
hey, you just Michael, please. Just go the footy, mate, all right?
Michael Ricks, the umpire's talking to, and that is a very good tackle by a big man. And he gives him a couple to go on with.
That's what we like to see. McGlynn to Hodge to Roughhead. The big fella can wind up here, doesn't he? Goes to Franklin. Nice pass. And the mouth guard straight into the shorts, but sometimes he does that and then plays on straight away. This time I think he's going to have a deliberate shot. So Lance Franklin is second on the goal-kicking table with 24 goals, 17 this season. He was off target last week against the Dockers, and he starts with a point tonight.
It's a terrific recent record at the MCG, 22 from his last 4 outings here. 9 of them, of course, in one hit against the Bombers on a destructive day a few weeks ago. Del Santo, as expected, has been picked up by Sewell. He gives to Harvey here. St Kilda still having trouble really penetrating on the forward move. Lee Fisher receives from Del Santo. And it's clogged up ahead, as you can see. Good shot of it. Hawthorn crowding the midfield. Del Santo's had to run from full back and receive first from Harvey and now from Lee Fisher. And again, it's crowded up ahead of him. So what does he do? Does he go to a contest? No, he goes very short. And again, Riewoldt is having to work hard.
And again, Tim, that's about the 6th mark Riewoldt's taken, but all up around the wing, and Alistair Clarkson wouldn't be too concerned with that.
Good move, Ricks to Burse. Gehrig is there at the back. He might have done a bit of pushing. He did. Umpire run right onto it, and Hawthorn can release comfortably. Lewis out in front of Mitchell with Milne bearing down. But Mitchell has plenty of poise, plenty of vision, plenty of awareness. Fiora will be under pressure, and he's gone. It'll be a throw-in. He's a little lucky.
Tackle took him out of bounds.
Ben McGlynn believes he is anyway.
Didn't have prior opportunity.
Thought he might have had a bit of prior opportunity there.
There was a tackle as the ball is thrown back in. Mitchell at the bottom of it again, got caught high. Looks a bit injured, does Mitchell, as he's a bit slow to get up there. Ball goes back inside 50, front and centre was Bateman. Oh, the handball was on to Dixon, but it was just a tad slow.
Super
good tackle. It was a great tackle by Attard. Just as about to handball to Dixon. So the Saints get the ball back. Burse chips it out wide to Harvey. And, oh, gee, Ricks found some space here. Oh, he's dropped the ball. He's got time to steady and pick it up again. He kicks towards Gehrig, who's being double-teamed at the moment. Was that deliberate? No.
Well, Blake has been going with Hodge for all of this quarter. Hodge has come off to have a spell, and Blake thought he might have a spell too, but the coach said stay on and run with Crawford, so I hope he's fit.
Campbell rucking now for the Hawks. Chance for Armitage. First feel of the ball, and St Kilda work it to Fiora.
And Fiora's been the spare man in defence for all of this quarter, but he's a smart player, is Fiora, and he's just worked his way down. He'll go from half back to midfield, and as you can see there, he's pushed into the forward 50. He hasn't had a direct opponent, so he needs to be used whenever possible, and the Saints will look to bring it into the central corridor, as they've done there.
Saints still looking for their first goal. He is a good kick, and he nails it well. And we have a very tight game. David Armitage, first gamer from Mackay in Queensland. And he was involved in the lead up there. It was his first disposal in league football. It's one he'll remember well because Aaron Fiora was on the end of it with a true left boot.
So it's the Hawks by a point as we started all in the middle again. Ricks. It's Campbell snared by Mitchell to Crawford. That was a good handball over to Ladson. So Ladson has time to weigh up his options, and he finds a teammate, Campbell, inside attacking 50. Hasn't bothered the scorers so far this year, Rob Campbell.
But
11 goals in his 61-game career.
just like the fact that Campbell and Taylor are getting opportunity in the ruck this year with Spider Everett going to Sydney.
They'll be kicking from about 48 metres out. In fact, he's going to kick from outside 50 in the end. And a couple of extra metres to work with, but he didn't need it as he gets Hawthorn second. Very nice kick for a big ruckman.
Well, yeah, he did it well, didn't he? Knew what he was doing, went back, lined up, and was able to put it through.
The numbers men wouldn't have fancied his chances on the figures you gave, Quarters. You said he let it go from outside 50, even though he marked 5 or so metres inside, but it was a good finish. Alistair Clarkson wouldn't be unhappy with what he's seen so far. Hawthorn with a lead of just over a goal in what looks likely to be a low-scoring match. Ricks against Campbell. Ricks again. Stolen from him by Sewell and pinched from him. Luke Ball eventually, but Bateman getting back. And takes it wide for Crawford. Ball will try and corral him out there and manages to, but Guerra is pretty good with his left foot. Roughhead has Gwilt as an opponent at the moment. Young, a left footer, can't get onto it. Ladson hemmed in by Ball. Guerra goes the long one now in the Franklin and Dixon direction. Voss was there with a big fist. Plenty of Saints, but they got in each other's way for a while. Voss eventually relieving. And Revolt takes mark number 5, but none of them have been even near the 50, I wouldn't think.
Just amazing, that long kick into the Hawthorn forward line. 5 or 6 St.Kilda players to 2 Hawks.
Stephen Milne goes back to Lee Fisher. He's having his 10th touch. He goes to Gwilt. And he kicks to the wing to Kazitsky. Will he get there? Not quite. Well done by Lewis. And now the Hawks get it back as Gillen fight out the handball to Bateman. Wasn't a very good kick from Bateman. Fisher will have another disposal here. Well done. Got it to Kazitsky. So the Saints on the attack now as the ball's kicked to the wing. And it's marked there by Sweeney.
And received from Howard, the other first gamer.
Yeah, and that's good to see, Tim. The 2 youngsters combining there.
And now Montagna's got it. Like a game of checkers, isn't it, this first quarter?
Well, St Kilda's taken 41 marks, the Hawks 18.
That was a sloppy handball. Boyle. Now Voss gets driven into the ground, and the umpire said, yep, that's a push in the back.
I think Montagna got one right on the jaw, too.
Yep, from that tackle, accidental.
He ran hard at it to make up for his error, didn't he? And St Kilda were lucky to come out with possession.
What about this guy? Lee Fisher's had 11 disposals and 8 marks. That's amazing.
Well, that's because they're just playing this keepings off. Yeah, that's why stats to a certain extent are meaningless. But there's Fisher for his 12th disposal.
They're not much more meaningful than possessions of a basketball where the ball just gets chipped around. Dangerous ball there to Kazitsky, who lost it in the night light. Harvey gives it back to him. And St Kilda mount the forward move. Milne overwhelmed in that. Sweeney, who's done all right, knocks it on, but it couldn't quite find Montagna. Roughhead, Brown, Hodge. And this Hawthorn team coming of age through this 2007 season. And here's one of the reasons. His name's Brad Sewell. He was 3rd in their best and fairest last year, and he keeps getting better.
Well, he's playing on Del Santo, Tim, as you called earlier. Del Santo just the 3 touches for the quarter.
To Hodge. Del Santo couldn't quite get him, but he kept him on his wrong side. Osborne, good pressure from the Saints. Can they win the ball off Hawthorn? They won't, as Birchall goes back into the jaws. With a 2-time All-Australian, Joel Smith, returning for senior footy tonight. And Gillam now gives to Campbell Brown, given a big job, but gee, you've got to admire this bloke. He is a real goer in Hawthorn's back half.
Now Crode. Won't play on this time as he chips over the top. And it's marked by Hodge. He goes short. And it's taken by Campbell. So it's not a very attractive game of football. Now Crawford's got it. It's 75 out from home. There's a lead from Boyle, and he kicks to Franklin. Didn't take the grab. Boyle lays the tackle. But he gets up a little bit gingerly. So throw inside the Hawks attacking 50. Can they snare a late one here? No, they won't, as the Saints win possession. Del Santo will kick to Milne. And the Hawks are going to, for the second time this season, take a quarter-time lead. As the siren's about to sound. 15 plays, 8. And what did you think of all that, Robert? It was far from attractive, wasn't it?
It's far from attractive, but it's intriguing quarters because you've got a team like St Kilda who are determined not to kick the ball to a contact.
President of Hawthorn, and just an injury update. Lee Montagna, you mentioned the knock that he received in the first term. Well, he was actually getting quite a bit of treatment from the doctors during that break. They were having a look at his jaw and his teeth, and he did seem to be quite uncomfortable, and it looks like he's going to start on the ground though. So at this stage, he seems to be okay.
That's good news. This last thing the Saints need is another injury. The Blue Baggers leading the Roos by 4 points late in the first quarter up on the Gold Coast. And we'll hear more from Jeff Kennett at half-time with the boys from the 5th quarter. As we start this second term, it's Hawthorn by 7.
Just 3 goals kicked in that opening term. What a clever shrug by Del Santo. Lovely move to Harvey. This is good for St Kilda, but Gehrig's not going to get to the drop. And Guerra stood his ground staunchly. That was very wide for Crawford, and he got a kind little bounce and skid out there. That's Lewis. Hawthorn should move it quickly here because their front half is not as crowded as it might be shortly. Kick not good. Ball, Harvey again. Oh, Milne, Attard, it is up forward now. Well tackled. The disposal a little dubious. Howard to Del Santo, hoping for Montagna. But Hawthorn have it covered. More of the same here. The defence is on top. Birchall to Mitchell, who decides to buy some time. Gives to Ladson.
Back to Birchall. He'll switch to the members' side and find Young. He'll go. And he chips straight to the wing and finds Big Taylor. Now Simon Taylor kicks to Brown, and he's kept it alive. Can't break the tackle. Couldn't get it back to Young. Well played, Stephen Milne. Now on the rebound. Can the Saints make the Hawks play? No, they can't.
That's a reckless kick by Milne. He's just kicked it to a 4-on-1 situation.
Ball in dispute on centre wing. Young overran it. Gilbert's in there. He's tackled and wrapped up by Franklin. Ball yells the crowd. The umpire will bounce.
And there's Lee Fisher in picture. He's the man who had 13 disposals in the first quarter. Again, without an opponent, he's the spare man in the back half. You can see him back there. Great shot. 3 against 2.
Taylor getting it to McGlynn, but couldn't keep it in play. How many goals will win it, Rob?
Well, the way it's going, Tim, 10 or 11 goals could do it.
10 or 11 might win it easily the way it's going.
Look it out, look it out!
I don't think anyone's going to knock that out. Another ball up.
And at the other end of the ground, you can see that the Hawks have got an extra man in defence. So both coaches being defensive in that regard, and that's why we've got such a low-scoring game.
Good matchups. Ladson has Milne. Crode has Gehrig. Brown has Revolt. Strong body there from Taylor, but adjudged illegal. Koschitzki's ball. St Kilda's chance to go forward and probably hit the brick wall again. Let's see how they go about trying to penetrate it. Luke Ball. You can see numbers up ahead. Del Santo, man who knows how to use the football. Gehrig starting his lead from deeper and taking the mark 55 out, but it will be beyond his kicking range. Gehrig's face showing the frustration of it all. And the way home is proving elusive. Ladson and Lewis combining. Ladson McGlynn. Now here's Franklin up in midfield. It's a neat little kick, but that's a good spoil coming from Gilbert, forcing the throw in.
And there's Addard, a good shot of Addard. He's been a defender for St Kilda in recent weeks, but Ross Lyon's put him forward. I reckon it's because of his competitiveness and the ability to tackle well and lock the ball in. So he's got a chance forward, the former Brisbane player.
High tackle on Luke Ball. Goes short to Montagna. Good to see him out there after that heavy knock late in the first quarter. Now Lee Fisher with disposal number 14. He finds Voss. Kick finds Sam Fisher. He's off. A long ball looking for Kazitsky, I think, is the target. No mark there to Gillam. Milne's all wrapped up. They'll have a bounce. Directly in front of the Saints goal, about 35 out. Ricks was the target. And he does the ruck work against Taylor. Snared by Lewis. Good tackle. Ball spills free. Montagna. Now the ball comes out. Revolt to Milne. Can he weave some magic? He breaks one tackle. Now handballs to Ball. Ball just pops it up into the hot spot. It's a clever kick. Oh, Burst just couldn't hang on to the mark. And get out of jail card there for the Hawks as Ladson's kick finds McGlynn.
It's a night where every opportunity like that has to be seized. Shane Burst tried so hard to bring that ball down, just lost it on the way. And now it's Sewell for Hawthorn. Still just 3 goals kicked in well over half an hour of football. Guerra, Ladson, Hawthorn's turn just to flip it around. Now Young, who likes to kick it long and does so with great accuracy. And he kicks to Gillam. Not sure who he's after there. He's found that man Lee Fisher, but Hodge made the spoil. Did it well. Mitchell a chance now. Still crowded up ahead. It's a clever kick, a lovely kick to Franklin, who has hung onto it low down and is within range.
And one thing I like about Hawthorn is that they always keep 4 men in the forward 50. They don't get sucked into coming right down the ground. They push back, so there's always 4 of them inside the forward 50. They do a lot of screening for each other, blocking for each other. I think it's legal enough, and they are selfless in the way that they set each other up.
Goalless so far. Just outside 50. Just missing. Hawks lead by 8 points.
So look at Lance Franklin's conversion rate. This year he's at 59%. He's now got 24 goals, 19 for the season. Sam Fisher over to Harvey. He finds Gilbert. He looks a likely type.
Nick, you went close to the line then last time, mate.
His pick finds Voss. A few of the Hawthorn fans thought it was out on the full, but was deemed a mark inside the line as Voss goes for the long option, looking for Revolt.
Well, that is a most unusual option for St Kilda, isn't it, to kick it long to a contest, because they've just chipped their way forward throughout the first quarter. 2 young coaches, terrific to see them give an opportunity, Clarkson and Lyon.
Beautiful tap by Ricks to Montagna. Now Burst loads up, kick partially smothered. And Hawks have got heaps of numbers back as Lewis finds Crode, and Ladson's worked hard here, and he'll receive and play on.
Dixon to Guerra, and this is a good move. 2 on 2 here, but good mark, Sam Fisher. Judged it very well, didn't rush, waited, took it nicely. Montagna, Luke Ball. Now Attard playing further up the ground tonight. Hasn't missed a game for St Kilda this year after 5 games in a couple of years in Brisbane. Lee Fisher. Gehrig now having to come a long way from home, and the numbers are against him. His opponent Crode mopping it up. Birchall, the extra man back there. Lewis. He's taken it wide.
Just sense the G-Train's starting to lose a bit of patience.
He'd be frustrated because forwards like the ball coming in quick, long and direct, and it's coming in anything but that at the moment.
It's a night for patient men, and G-Train ain't one of them.
He's an angry man, isn't he?
Biora to Attard as the Saints will try and set something up.
Well, 6 clearances to St Kilda in this quarter, none to the Hawks.
This is Gilbert. He gets onto the left and goes to Revolt. Good pass, and Revolt's within range.
That's what they consider success. Play with it, keep control of it, chip it around, and ultimately see if you can find somebody on the lead inside the forward 50. And that's why this kick becomes all important, because goals are so scarce.
Well, Franklin missed one down the other end a couple of minutes ago. Revolt's in a similar position distance-wise.
A lot made of his goals shooting. He's 5-3 from set shots this year. Not bad.
So that's what confronts him. It's a good-looking kick. It's a goal. Saints have got their second. Beautiful kick from Nick Revolt, who's kicked his 11th goal for the season. 11 goals, 3. So his conversion rate is 75% this year, so he's doing a good job in front of goal.
All his marks in the first quarter tended to be taken up near the wing as Lenny Hayes and Aaron Hamill look on, and they'd be as impatient as anybody. They'd love to be out there. But he's taken now a mark inside 50 and another one just outside a few minutes earlier. So perhaps St Kilda just modifying their strategy a little. Harvey has Revolt coming a long way from goal again. Joel Smith with him this time. Harvey followed his own kick. What a tank he has. Burst, paddling, well collected by Howard, and Harvey kept on coming. Great stuff by the Evergreen, and now Del Santo. No, he misses.
Well,
that's a bad miss.
It is a bad miss because he's a quality player. Robert Harvey just wonderful with his poise. Del Santo finding a little bit of space, and I think it hit the stick, Tim.
It did hit the and then went behind it.
Oh, good courageous mark there taken by Sewell. Now Birchall. Nowhere to go, and he's paying the price. That's a free kick.
And good persistence by the young Saint there,
Yep.
Sweeney.
So Sweeney in game number 1, boy from Tyab.
It's probably not the best option to kick a long ball to Stephen Milne when he's 1 out against 2 opponents.
Milne's probably told him to. Give me a chance to take a screamer.
Got to get some clearances from the ruck contest, the Hawks. They've been down this quarter.
In the side. Knock it out.
And we'll have another bounce. Fisher 15, Harvey 13 disposals for the Saints. Ladson 13, Crawford and Lewis 11 each for the Hawks. And here's another one for Lewis as he bursts through the pack. Crawford cleverly to McGlynn. A long kick. Caught behind his Boyle. He might still get it. No, not quite. And the Saints have got the numbers back. Wilt. Lee Fisher. And his kick will find another of the first game is in David Armitage. Played in the NAB Cup games. Now he's got his chance. Back to Lee Fisher. This is number 17.
Well, he's got the best gig in town, and that is loose man in defence.
Oh, Blake, that's a little dangerous. He was after Sam Fisher. It was prized away, and Young has a deadly left foot. Franklin. Oh, well done, Gilbert. Did very well. Has some numbers there to support him. Hot contest here. Good tackle by Franklin. Wilt helping out his mate. Did it well. Finds Attard. Temperature going up a little here. It hasn't been pretty, but it has been desperately tight. Jaden Attard making a very good start to his new football life at Moorabbin. Lee Fisher, another stat. Blake, well, it's a little untidy, but cleverly controlled. Sewell right with Del Santo.
And Del Santo going for the chest mark, let it come onto his chest, which meant his opponent could get a fist on it, needed to take it outstretched with the hands.
Rick's uncontested here. Luke Ball there, told him to take it and give it to me. Now Blake, bombs to space. Gehrig coming hard. Not a worried Campbell out of it. The Hawks stand up though. Crode, Campbell, Guerra, Birchall, and away go Hawthorn. Now Hodge, dabbing it onto McGlynn. Now, is he within range at 49? Got to kick it from outside 50, it might test him. Hawthorn goalless in the quarter. The Saints have kicked one. McGlynn looks uncertain about his capacity here. He's got the pinch hitter there in Hodge, who didn't go for broke. Burst backing back. Armitage well tackled. No prior opportunity, and a ball up as the outcome.
Prior opportunity, wrapped him up straight away.
So chance here for the Hawks. 25 out from their goal. Here's Franklin. Can he get boot to ball? No, he can't. Good tackle. Quick kick out. Revolt's caught in between two Hawks. And Campbell Brown will load up from 55. It's a shank. All the balls of the Heritage, that is.
All of those kicks from around the 50 mark are so important because it's such a low-scoring game, and a goal is worth 2.
Lee Fisher, stat number 20.
His career best is 28. Tim, he's going to smash that.
He could have it by half-time the way he's going. Gilbert been good. So's Gwilt.
Yeah, and Gwilt was groomed to play as a backman over summer, Tim. Ross Lyon knew that he'd have trouble with some of his defenders not being fit, and Matt Maguire, of course, out with that leg injury. There's Fraser Gehrig, of course. He's been pushed down to the wing, and that doesn't suit him. But Gwilt was groomed to play as a defender as far back as December last year, and it's paying dividends because Maguire's out for a long time. Hudgson's hardly played this year.
Just his 9th game, and his 7th and 8th were pitted against Favola and Barry Hall. Here's McGlynn. Hawthorn on a break here, sitting it up. He's got Boyle in the box seat, but Sam Fisher came over the top. He left his man in doing it, but he doesn't mind those. Normally, he puts some boomerang on it, but not quite enough.
Three behinds to Lance Franklin. And Sam Gilbert in the back pocket.
Well, the question I pose to you, Tim, and Quarters, which coach do you think would be the happier at the moment with the way things are panning out? Such a low-scoring affair. I got an idea Ross Lyon wouldn't be too unhappy. Obviously, there's only 2 points between the two teams. He's got 3 players out there playing their first game of league football, so he's getting them introduced to it in this first half, and the scoreboard's okay for them.
I guess the question for the Hawks is that they've come back from Perth, and we know that the terrible record teams have coming back the week after from Perth. Whether they've got the run in their legs in the last quarter, that's probably a factor. Well, Fraser Gehrig's got it. This is a really difficult kick. At least he's found the leather, and the G-Train scores a point.
Full forwards trading behinds. Franklin at one end, Gehrig at the other. It's almost success in the context of this night. 2 goals each. We're just over 5 minutes from half-time. Bateman offers Crode that option out wide. So it's the Hawks' turn. A game of defence, rigid defence. Now Young wanting to get onto that left foot. Young Sweeney's got him, did well. Now can he help it to Revolt? He does. Bateman against Revolt. Sweeney looking for the free. Getting it. Did well. What a night for him. One of 3 first gamers in this St Kilda outfit, 2 of them coming in at the very last minute. David Armitage was told yesterday that he'd be in. Sweeney and Brad Howard also coming in tonight.
That's Revolt's 10th mark.
90 metres out. Gone other than over the mark. Forced to kick long. Ricks is there at the back. But Simon Taylor, an equally big man, maybe a bit bigger, came over him.
Well, they need to get a clearance, the Hawks. There's been 9 clearances to 0 in this second quarter, St Kilda's way.
Taylor against Ricks. Doing the roving is Bateman. Has another crack at it. Spills out to Crawford. Over to Smith.
Oh, that's good.
There it is. Rob, you happy now?
Oh, well, they needed it.
Birchall to McGlynn, who kept his feet. Oh, but well won back. That's a terrific effort. Beautifully done by Armitage as he puts Kilda deep into attack, and it's a free kick against Fraser Gehry.
Push him out. No, you're not allowed to push out. Oh, play on.
Good
Great
efforts
stuff
on either side of the ground by 2 of the first gamers.
And McGlynn, who's only played 11 matches before tonight, has taken the mark. Our advertisers aren't going to be happy, Rob.
We can't get a commercial break in,
No.
can we?
No. Ladson kicks. That's a good kick in the direction of Boyle. Franklin can't break open the pack. Has another go at it. Has another go at it. Now dishes off the handball. Back to Ladson. In support is Sewell. Oh, here's a breakdown. Dixon's got free. And Ben Dixon will line up from only 25 metres out on a slight angle. This should be Hawthorn's third. Ben Dixon, who last week unfortunately got donuts. Statless for the first time in his career, but he's been a great servant of the Hawthorn Football Club. And he shouldn't have much problem from here. 6 goals, 7 he's kicked this season. And he's missed. Bad miss. When goals are at such a premium.
Nick Del Santo kicking in. He missed and he knows he should have goaled earlier in the quarter. Maybe the tension, the pressure of a low-scoring game like this just causes a bit of choking. Revolt, 5 marks in the last 20 minutes, but only one of them taken inside 50. Produced a goal. Brett Voss. Goal either way, close to half-time, would be hugely telling. Del Santo missing the mark, then having to tackle. Sewell and Crawford combined, and Mitchell always cool. Sam Mitchell, and always good in his disposal. Boyle is at the 50.
Back here, Brad. Back here, thanks. Another metre. Keep going.
Doesn't have the shot himself, and Harvey's able to cut it off.
Terrific play by Robert Harvey, Tim. He read that and from about 40 metres away sprinted so he could just intercept, get in the hole and get a deflection, put it out of play. And that's when midfielders help defenders.
He's been superb in this quarter.
Kazitsky's gone to full forward. Well, he's just out the 50, but that's the closest St Kilda player to the goals. G-Train's in the centre square.
Nice tap by Brooks. Finds Del Santo. Over to Ball. And he doesn't waste it. He finds Blake.
Right there, Taz. Play on. Hit the deck.
No mark to Voss, but Blake is there to mop up. And he puts his teammate Del Santo over the pump. Is that holding the ball? No, says the umpire.
Ball's pinned, no prior. No prior. No, he's had half a second, mate. Can't ping that.
Umpire explaining why it wasn't a free to the Hawthorn players. Little kick by Hodge was clever. Now he gets it back from McGlynn. Good tackle by Harvey. Back to McGlynn. Sidesteps once, twice. Now in the right boot. Kicks in the direction of Franklin. It's over his head.
The spare man in defence. Mops up again.
And Lee Fisher takes his 14th mark and has his 22nd disposal. Now the Saints are on the run on the southern stand side of the ground.
Montagna inside to Sam Fisher. This might be the last hurrah, certainly for the Saints, and they're a chance here. Gilbert running forward. Now, can he set it up? Goes deep. Gehrig has a couple, three in front of him, in fact, and not a lot of crumbing. And the Hawks defence looks to have it covered.
Oh.
Lewis running into Gehrig and running into Howard, but able to get it off to Guerra. Time perhaps for the Hawks or for the Saints. Oh, Blake not quite hanging on to that. Mitchell's hand pass, uncharacteristically loose, but Crawford seizes upon it. Lewis, Bateman, and the moment's passed for the Saints. Now Mitchell, and the scrubby nature of that kick might mean that we've seen the last goal kicked for the half. Osborne's got it, but he's not going to kick a goal from there. And we reach half-time on Saturday night at the MCG with that scoreline. 2-6.
Half of the year, Tim.
2-6 games, I would think.
And again, the Hawks setting up with that straight line of players, so there's space out wide on the flanks if they can get a break.
And Hawthorn have possession. Jordan Lewis.
And that's a good example of it.
To McGlynn. What's he got on offer? Nothing. He kicks it into the man on the mark. Attacking it was Roughhead. McGlynn has another crack. Gwilt's over the top of him. Ball comes out.
St.Kilda, James Gwilt,
There was
straight
a
to
throw.
him. Throw the ball.
Now Lee Fisher, who's got a career best 28 disposals in a match. He's got 22 up to half time and 15 marks. His kick's chopped off by Crow. To Guerra. He was very lucky not to give away a goal late in that second term with an errant kick. And Mitchell. Brad Sewell run hard and receives and plays on. Into the pocket. Looking for Roughhead. The idea was right, just couldn't quite execute the kick. We'll have a throw in about 35 metres out from Hawthorn's goal. Tough night for the forwards, to say the least. Roughhead against Kazitsky. Roughhead the nice tap. McGlynn. And he's all wrapped up by ball.
Robert Harvey and Shane Crawford opposed to each other at the moment, and two champions with enormous respect for each other. Brownlow medalists too.
Here's Franklin. Taps it to Sewell. Got it back to Franklin. Coughs it up though. And the Saints are away through Sam Fisher. To Attard. Back to Fisher, back to Attard. And here's some run.
And it's James Gwilt living his life in defence now. A chance to try and set something up. And Attard, the former Lion, is within 55. Revolt will come from the side. He'll crumb, perhaps. Yes, he will. And he'll kick his second goal. And he puts the Saints in front.
Well, great call, Tim. The long kick to a contest. They set this up well, the Saints. Patience, clever handball, the long kick by Attard. Revolt in the end decides not to go up because you can see a 2 against 1 against Fraser Gehrig. Stays down, takes the crumb, and more importantly is able to hook it on the non-preferred foot.
Did it well, didn't he?
Fantastic athleticism from Nick Revolt. He kicks his second, and the Saints have the lead. In front by 4 points.
And another terrific shot of the Hawthorn forward structure at the centre bounces. Space out wide on the flank. So important they get a break so they can use that space to a leading forward.
Taylor got the tap to Mitchell. Kick to Roughhead was an absolute beauty from Sam Mitchell.
And that explains the setup that Alistair Clarkson had with his forwards. They needed to get the centre break, and then they were able to put the ball out into the open space, and that is just fantastic coaching.
So Jared Roughhead has kicked 5 goals, 7 this season. Conversion rate of only 42%. It's raining goals at the G. So nice kick for goal from Jared Roughhead. And the Hawks rest the lead back. They lead by a couple of points.
We've been praying for rain, and the floodgates have opened. A goal to either team. Good kick from Roughhead, who has not been so reliable around the sticks this year. Nice movement by Hawthorn. Lewis pumping it to Taylor, to Guerra. Very good move. The veteran, Crawford from 50, sitting it high, long, and just offline. Hawthorn looking as though they're starting to find some confidence.
Quick kick in by the Saints. Montagna over to Harvey. It's number 14 for the veteran. Back to Montagna. Long ball to Gehrig. He's got to beat a couple. Guerra. Over to Birchall. Good chasing by the big G train. As Taylor's happy to see it over the line. 36 minutes between goals for the Hawks. Let's hope things open up a little bit. Mitchell at the bottom of it again. Just couldn't quite handle the footy.
Hawthorn setting up with 4 forwards again inside their forward 50. St Kilda with the 1 extra man in defence.
Wind's starting to whip up, I've noticed too, out on the grounds. As Bateman finds Crawford over to Mitchell. Now Sewell. Kick is precise, and it had to be as he finds Guerra.
What a frightening sight. The G train coming at you. The whites of the eyes showing. Lewis to McGlynn. Hawthorn by 3 points. Saints have scarcely been in front. That goal of Revolts at the start of the quarter giving them the lead for the first time. But as quickly as they gained it, it's taken off them. The straight kick from Jared Roughhead. Lewis now. Another big possession earner tonight, but many of them uncontested. It's a little bit risky. And the numbers will be with St Kilda here. McGlynn used the body well in that contest. Did it nicely. Ricks, though, stealing it. St Kilda's ball. Free kick to Ricks. Tackled a little brutally.
Stephen Milne sneaking around in the back pocket.
Yes, he's almost become the fullback. Hasn't troubled the scorers tonight. Harvey, big contribution in the second quarter. Amazing man. James Gwilt.
50-metre penalty over the mark.
So it's against Boyle, and Gwilt will come up to the centre line. Martin Ellis on the job.
Darren Goldspink did a fitness trial today, Tim, to get the required distance in the 15-metre time trial. So let's hope he succeeded.
15-minute or 15-metre?
15-minute.
You would have been there with the stopwatch, Rob.
Well, Rowan Connolly asked how long a 15-minute time trial took.
Here's Gilbert going for Revolt, but overshooting. And Lewis is there.
And what was the answer, Rob?
15 minutes.
Campbell Brown shorts it to Guerra.
Still not missing a trick, I assume.
No, we desperately need him back in the umpiring ranks because he's a good umpire. Just because he can't run much. There's 3 of them out there. Shouldn't be any reason why he can't get a game.
Sure, the Hawthorn supporters will be delighted to have him back in the big time. McGlynn out wide. Couldn't get there. Well done by Lee Fisher. It's not safely over the line. So the Hawks by 3.
Which final was that Goldspink
It's a preliminary final,
disappointed you? What year?
It's against Essendon in 2001, I think, from memory.
I'm glad you put it behind you.
Sam Fisher finds Harvey over to the big G train. Laconically kicks into the pocket. It wasn't a bad one, actually. The revolt just couldn't quite get there. And Trent Crode sees it over the line.
Speaking of preliminary finals, you mightn't have got over quarters. I was thinking back to 1982, one of the most riveting halves of football I ever saw. Hawthorn 3-9 led Carlton 2-11 at the long interval. Fantastic game. Bit different from this, though, even though the scoring was low.
Bateman. Good desperate stuff from he and Ball, who finally got it out to Montagna. Handball partially smothered, but Fiora manages to snare it. Kicks in the direction of Milne. Guerra's there, too strong. Good mark, Brent Guerra. It's a good one. As Milne goes for a bit of a ride. And he goes short and finds Shane Crawford, who kicks to Mitchell.
Lee Fisher's got him covered. Very good with either side of his body. Harvey, the big double fister though. (16 disposals, Robert Harvey, opposed to Crawford a few minutes ago, as we saw. 3 consecutive Brownlows between them. 2 to Harvey, 1 to Crawford from 97 to 99. Wilt, a left footer. You want to kick with the wrong side, that close to the opposition goal. Lee Fisher, Montagna, they're closing. Back to Fisher. The numbers with the Saints, and they're able to manoeuvre it around without too much risk. Wilt again. Really coming of age, having made his debut in round 22, 2005. His second game, he came off the bench in a preliminary final, in a qualifying final in Adelaide, and made a terrific contribution to a St Kilda victory. Last final they won. Sam Fisher now for Brett Voss, an intelligent player. Will think about this.
Terrible
Let's
kick.
be down with a woeful kick. And the G-Train's no hope.
Well, both teams on 4 wins and 3 losses, so of great importance. The winning team just gets that nice edge on each other, because I think both of them will certainly be knocking on the door of the finals come September.
Campbell did well over to Crode. Oh, shocking handball. Montagna slipped over. Sewell fed it out to Campbell, to Bateman. Sweeping handball. Now Osborne. And Sam Mitchell rides shotgun. Osborne turns it over. Fisher dropped the mark. Oh, handball intercepted by Guerra. He's stripped of the footy.
Good tackle by Adar. Fantastic tackle. Lighter player, wrapped up his opponent. We've just seen a few of these short passes miss the target. You know, physical game, a lot of running from one end of the ground to the other. The skills might start to deteriorate.
Well, both ruckmen missed that one. Quick kick out of the pack was by Fiora, and it's come off nicely as it's marked by Stephen Milne at halfback.
Well, it rained goals briefly. A bit like the weather of late. Promising a lot, but not really delivering over the long term. Harvey again. I don't see much up ahead that he likes.
Crowd starting to boo, Tim.
Wilt. Good kick. Sam Fisher getting forward. Too much on the kick.
If your team wins this 1 quarters, you'll accept this sort of football. If they lose, you'll be dirty.
He's impartial.
He's getting dirty.
As Jack Little once said, no comment. Really, as a spectacle, this is terrible, isn't it? For a person watching at home, a neutral person watching this game, it is terrible. It's a terrible game of football. Come on.
Well, it's the way that footy's become. I saw Adelaide play last night. They kicked 7 goals in the first quarter. In the second quarter, they kicked 1, but in that second quarter, they had 10 long kicks for the quarter, which isn't entertaining.
We've had perfect conditions. We've had 6 goals in 2.5 quarters. It's rubbish.
We used to boast about the fact that there was no offside rule in our game. It was a game of attack, of going forward. Let's see if St Kilda can march forward here. Well, there's not much to march to, so Gehrig takes it wide for Kajitsky. Crode coming at him because he has a chance, and he delivers to Bloch. Bloke drops a sitter, still got a chance. Did it pretty well. He's no Darryl Baldock, but it wasn't bad. Milne from behind. Wera has it covered. Gehrig, the G-train, the crummer, and he's got it again, and he misses the lot. If he was feeling impatient before,
I think he's about to combust.
3 behinds to Gehrig.
As the mark's taken by Young. Clinton Young kicks a long ball. It's a nice kick. It finds Campbell.
Right there. Play on now.
Now Chips looks for Roughhead. Got to the front. There's 3 St Kilda players around him. Osborne put his body on the line. Wilk tackles him.
My ball, picked it up as he slid in. Didn't dive on it. My ball.
Courageous stuff from Osborne. So it's a ball up. Inside Hawthorn's attacking 50. Again, the Saints had the numbers. Del Santo. Oh, it's a dodgy old handball to Gwilt. And will they concede a point here? No, they won't. Gilbert did well under pressure. To Fisher. Now Burse. What's he got on offer? He looks for Milne. Almost a good mark. Dragged it back in. The umpire will bounce.
Nick Del Santo certainly needs to improve his output. He's just had the 1 disposal in this quarter. Now he's a gun for the Saints. It's a good effort there by Milne to get in front, hold his ground.
And I thought a good call by the umpire. He had to try and take possession.
Brad Sewell just putting the brakes on Del Santo, as Brad Sewell often does. See Del Santo in picture going out. Number 12 for the Hawks will follow him all the way. He does one of the best blanketing jobs of any of the players in the game.
Gee, I hope no one left the room at home during that 1 minute when 2 goals were kicked. You're like coming to the Test cricket for a day and going to the powder room while the only wicket fell. Mitchell's ball for Hawthorn. Campbell. Franklin. Wrong side. Young. Searching left footer. Dixon's there. Saints again with numbers, a la Robert Walls, the analyzer. Brooks getting in over it for the Saints. Got company. Ball up.
It's been 12 minutes since we've had a score of any kind, boys.
Yeah, it's an amazing game, but whilst it's not that entertaining, it is intriguing in the way that the 2 coaches are going, because neither coach is prepared to make it one-on-one all over the field. Both coaches insisting that they have extra numbers in defence. So it's defensive the way that they're coaching. But if you look at the scores, there's less than a goal between them. I just wonder if one of them will dare to break the shackles and say, well, it's time to go for it.
That's 50 out from the Hawks' goal. Lewis to Mitchell to Smith. Good tackle by Montagna. Well played by Big Brooks to feed it out. Burse squeezes the kick to the wing, and Blake should mark. Running back with the flight of the ball was Ladson. Courageous stuff. And he's helped win the ball back for the Hawks. Hodge squares it up, looks for Taylor. No mark, Montagna. Over to Voss. Franklin lays the tackle. It was a clumsy one. It's a free kick to St Kilda. Burse goes out wide. It's marked by Brooks.
Must frustrate Fraser Gehrig the way the game's played. You know, forwards like the ball coming in quick, give them an opportunity, but he just has to wait and wait and wait while they're doing this sort of chip passing to each other.
Brad Howard's kick finds Attard, who kicks a long ball. Revolt got a chance here. It's got to beat 2 Hawks. Couldn't do so. Campbell Brown tries to rush through to behind, can't do so. G-Train goes without it. And that's the first score in about 14 minutes of football. Christy Malthouse.
Thank you, Stephen. Well, the crowd not overly enjoying this game, it seems, at the moment. They're pretty quiet, and as Robert mentioned a little while ago, they are booing a little bit as well, so not overly enjoying it. And the other thing, it's starting to rain, so it's made the ball just a little bit slippery.
Seen anyone not off, Christy?
Sorry?
Have you seen anyone not off?
Not just yet.
That tackle hurt Franklin.
Yeah. See what happened as he came down. Bit of a twist.
Good way of doing the shoulder.
Kojicki, speaking of injuries, Smith on his wrong side, and he delights St Kilda fans who used to love him by putting it out on the full. But he looks to be okay. Del Santo, under 6 minutes left. Another rout of the quarter. Revolt to Burse. Extraordinary game of football. No problems for Franklin, you wouldn't think. Luke Ball not able to snare it. Wouldn't be a night for Luke Ball at the footy without a bit of plaster on his body somewhere. Sam Fisher just not letting go of Franklin. The twist on the right ankle there. But nothing too serious. Now the Saints, half a chance here. Burse, cleverly for Revolt. Burse again, good centre. Not much there. Milne was the only hope. Oh, Osborne took a punt with that hand pass. Milne to Gehry, just couldn't get it to him. Now the G-Train. Where to go from there? Nowhere. Crowd, Birchall. And Hawthorn survived the moment. Smith to Brown. Out to Gillam. And the Hawks hold firm.
Mark taken by Osborne. Kick finds Birchall. So the crowd's starting to get restless, and who can blame them?
We've got to give a TV to someone for best on ground.
Lee Fisher's had 29 disposals, Rob.
Career best.
Well, he has, but he hasn't had an opponent. James Gwilt's had 9 disposals in this last quarter, playing as a full back, and most of those they've just chipped around to each other.
Bateman to McGlenn, who's off. Has one bounce, runs to the 50, goes to the long option into the goal square. Well done, Kazitsky.
Nick Riewoldt got crunched in that. Now, Nick Riewolt's obviously playing as a forward, but he's in the defensive goal square to help out.
Well, they've traded rush behinds in the last 2 minutes. That's about as exciting as it gets these days. Luke Ball. Hoping Ricks could get there, but Hodge beat him to it. Gives to Campbell Brown, who doesn't mind running and having a bounce of the ball. And goes the long ball for Lewis with the sit. Just couldn't quite hang on to it. Boyle at the base of it all. Holding the ball. St Kilda's footy. Well, Rob, the worst that could happen to a team that actually decided to try and prize this open is that it would lose the match. But one of them's going to lose in all probability anyway.
Yeah, that's right.
So what's the difference? And who is more vulnerable in a shootout?
I get a feeling that Alistair Clarkson's getting a bit frustrated with his team. Nothing's happening for them, and we saw them here only a couple of weeks ago play some terrific attacking football. Buddy Franklin kicked 9 goals. You can only kick 9 goals as a forward if the ball is brought in directly and quickly to you. And while St Kilda are playing this stop, start, keep possession of the ball game, I think the Hawks have fallen into it themselves, and I think if they can loosen up, just take a few risks, because when they're going forward, the Hawks, they are kicking it very wide. We're seeing a lot of ball getting punched out of bounds.
Brett Voss almost putting it out on the full for the second time in the quarter. Armitage marking it just on the line. Robert Harvey now. Just over 2 minutes left. Ball. St Kilda trying to solve the Rubik's Cube here. Now revolt, and Ricks is loose. Is he the man? No, he's not the man to have a shot at goal. He's not the man to find a forward with the pass either.
No, and he's gone to Stephen Milne in the middle of 3 Hawks.
Kick out was a good one.
They've just got to move it on quicker, the Hawks. If the Hawks move it on quickly, I think they're a chance to break this game open.
Gillam to Osborne. Kick partially smothered by Fisher. Saints get it back. Fiora. Good handball to Kazitsky. Pops one over the top. Sam Fisher. Over to the first gamer, Sweeney. And his kick is turned over. It's marked by Sam Mitchell.
It's a bit like circle work, isn't it? Goes down one end, swings out the other side, and 3 or 4 little chip passes, but it breaks down once they hit the 50 arc.
Well, as David Parkin often says, in the old days, you used to train by doing circle work, and on the Saturday afternoon you just go in straight lines up and down the ground. These days, you practice in straight lines, and then come match day, you do the circle work. Mitchell again, and it's Big Campbell, 70 metres out. Under a minute to go. Dixon surrounded. Well, that's about as good as anything. Osborne has got it. Was it 15? It wasn't 15. There'll be a ball up. That will be controversial. Still time for Hawthorn. Bateman just blazes. Didn't get enough onto it. And Kazitsky was the last man standing. And the Saints, if they don't make a mistake, might have it. Well, they've made that mistake. So have the Hawks. 2 of them in each other's way. Roughhead running it home. Eureka!
2 goals in the quarter to Jared Roughhead. And Hawthorn lead by 9.
And Justin Kazitsky will hang his head. He's already hung his head. He's gone for the chip across. Just a terrible option. And he's paid the ultimate price. And there'll be a lot of people who'll say, well, you deserve it.
The coaches are getting frustrated too. Ross Lyon.
Well, particularly frustrated when there's only 11 seconds left on the clock to end the quarter.
So big goal on the 3/4 time siren for the Hawks. There's a whistle here off the ball. What's happened?
Gwilt held his opponent. Now this could just destroy the Saints in a 12-second period. 2 goals in 12 seconds in a game as low scoring as this would be unbelievable. Gwilt definitely held on.
Here's Clarkson. He was showing the frustration too. Get the ball moving. Get the ball moving. This is a very big kick in the context of this game. Jared Roughhead's kick 2 this quarter. He's missed it badly. So 3/4 time at the MCG. It's Hawthorn 4-9-33, leading St Kilda 3-5-23.
And the only thing I'd say, Quarters, is because the Hawks were able to get a couple of goals there, and they've got probably the biggest break of any in the game, only 10 points, it might mean that Ross Lyon has to change his ways in this last quarter. Because if they continue to play the way that they have, I don't think they can kick 3 goals to win the game. So I think he's got to go for broke.
3/4 time at the MCG. It's Hawthorn leading the Saints by 10 points.
Maybe to the advantage of Hawthorn holding on to that lead, because that little sprinkle of rain that we had during the 3rd term has made the surface a little bit slippery, and therefore will make the ball slippery as well, so making it harder to take clean possession in the last term. And the late goal for Hawthorn has also woken up the crowd, as you can probably hear, so they may get more involved in the last term as well.
So we start the last term. The Hawks in front by 10. Beautiful tap by Taylor. Crawford gave it to Franklin, who went without it. A hot one to handle.
Well, the Saints desperate to get their experienced players on the ground. There's the St Kilda bench, and 3 of the 4 are all first gamers. Look at the young faces on them. So Ross Lyon going with what experience he's got.
And Barry Brooks has only just got the 10 games next to his name. Crawford over to Lewis. This is disposal 26. He's averaging 27 touches a game this season. Franklin.
I'm on the shoulder. Push down. You push down on his shoulder.
Tough call there on Fisher. As Franklin goes to the 50. Good mark taken by McGlynn. He goes short, and
well, that's
Sewell,
a big
was
win.
he within range?
Yeah, well, Sewell is Del Santo's opponent, and he's done a pretty good job on Nick Del Santo. Del Santo just 12 disposals.
To produce his very best here. He's not confident, so he goes sideways to Guerra, who just thumps it long. Big pack here. Front and centre was Boyle. Well, that's going to hurt the Saints' cause. A beautiful piece of roving from the big man.
Well, it was the long kick by Guerra. They give the ball to Guerra a lot, the Hawks, because they know he's got a thumping left boot. But Boyle, the big man, not in the contest in the mark, but certainly at ground level. And that's good to see a marking player able to do that sort of thing.
Tim Boyle gives Hawthorn clearly the biggest lead of the night. 16 points in the context of this game is a blowout. And this might be a trend. Hawthorn kicked one late in the third quarter and should have had another. And now they've kicked one early in the last. Ball, though, puts St.Kilda forward, but Crode is in the way.
Both teams playing with one man extra in defence, Tim, and it might well be time for Ross Lyon to say, hey, for us to win this game, we've got to kick 4 goals. We've only kicked 3 in 3 quarters, so you've just got to change the approach.
Yes, well, he's got to at least double his goal tally in what's left of this night. Hawthorn with a grip on it now, unless the complexion of the game changes. Lewis. But oh, that was a fine tackle by Del Santo. Wilt, pressure from Sewell. Sam Fisher, Bateman. An ugly maul, the ball up. Del Santo firing a shot back after Sewell was able to make him pay a minute or so earlier. Attard to Gwilt on his wrong side, blazes, and he blazes untidily. Gehrig's arriving late. Pro just seemed to lose it.
In that third quarter, St Kilda just started to lose their way a bit. Some of their short chip passes just not hitting the target. Happened 6 times in the third quarter, and we're just seeing some examples of it there that were quite costly against the Saints.
St Kilda.
Free kick
Yours.
from this throw in, and it's going to Ricks for over the shoulder against Campbell. Ball over to Burse. That was ambitious, but it came off as Ball looks for revolt. He's getting back, can't take the mark. Blake to Milne. Milne might go all the way himself, kicks the banana, hits the woodwork. And needed that one, the Saints.
Hawks have wasted no time. Second ball coming in handy. Guerra. To Sewell. And Hawthorn running loose here. This is a good-looking move. Bateman for Lewis, who is a left-footer. I wouldn't think so, though. Boyle, Franklin. Well tackled by Gilbert. Got him just above the knee and wins the free kick.
It's a great tackle, wasn't it?
It was. It slipped low. Was close to the knee. The fans in brown and gold obviously wanting the trip, but as you can see, it's okay. Perfect shot of it.
This quarter marks Hawthorn 10, St Kilda 0.
A 50-metre penalty, as Franklin was less than thrilled with the outcome.
And Sam Gilbert. Saints somehow have to manufacture a goal. Quick, smart. That was an interesting kick. Ooh. Now, both players took their eyes off the ball there. Wasn't much they could do as Fisher puts it inside 50. There's a free kick.
To go Sewell in the back to Del Santo, and this has been a fascinating contest. Brad Sewell has played on Del Santo.
You pushed him out.
The umpire said you pushed him out. Del Santo's just had the 12 disposals for the game. That's not many when you're playing in the midfield in a game like this. Sewell, on the other hand, has had 18 and penalised there for the push in the back.
That is a very, very bad miss. Nick Del Santo's second bad miss of this night. And now there's a 50-metre penalty.
It's gone against Del Santo.
That's it there. Right out, Justin. Quick. Thanks, mate.
He's a bit stiff because Campbell initiated some push and shove and Del Santo retaliated.
Michael Vozzo keeping a tight hold on proceedings, dishing that out, so 50s at either end. Campbell Brown for Bateman. St Kilda could not afford to waste an opportunity such as that. Frittered away by Del Santo. Mitchell. Hawthorn could really hurt if they could do some damage at the other end. Crawford placing it beautifully for Dixon.
60-metre pass. I think Shane Crawford's really enjoying playing with this young team. I think he thinks that in a year or two they may well be one of the top 6 teams of the comp.
Ben Dixon missed one from just about this spot in the second quarter. It went left. He has nailed that, and the Hawks lead by 20 points. And what price Nick Del Santo's missed now?
As Terry Wallace and family watches on, he's seen his former team Hawthorn take a 20-point lead, and gee, it's hard to see the Saints getting up from here, but still a lot of time in the game. They've got to make some changes, Rob. Have you noticed anything yet?
No, well, not really, but I noticed that change there. Hawthorn have made a change. Buddy Franklin to the interchange bench. That puts Dixon to full forward.
Mitchell's been outstanding for the Hawks. Couldn't quite control that one. Sewell's handball meant for Bateman. He got pushed in the back there. No doubt about that free kick.
Chance, Bateman. Chance, Bateman. Hold that chance. Chance, go overlook your mouth, mate. Yeah, okay. Sorry, mate. You're right.
It's just a scab.
As Birchall takes the mark. To Brown. Another one here for the Hawks. Just about iced the game. Mitchell. So many numbers back for the Saints, but somehow Boyle's found a bit of space and he'll line up just about his maximum range.
Well, we saw Crawford put it down the throat of his mate Dixon, and here we see a little chip pass there onto the chest of Boyle.
Extraordinary stat. Hawthorn have taken the last 25 marks in the match.
Well, I guess that tells you that the Saints just haven't had their hands on the footy.
So Tim Boyle, this to make it nigh on impossible for the Saints. And it's touched on the line. The Saints fans still hanging in there. And Chris Connolly.
A glum Chris Connolly after a loss today down at Skilled Stadium. Well, if St Kilda don't change their approach very soon, you'd be disappointed because they can't continue just to play this little chip football, not take risks, because they just won't get goals and they don't give themselves a chance to win.
Might have seen the crowd on the scoreboard a moment ago, 36,069, and a few less than gruntled customers among them. It hasn't been a red letter night. Ross Lyon with problems here. Saints have somehow got to kick 4 goals. It shouldn't be impossible. 4 goals in more than half a quarter. Bateman to Mitchell. Hawthorn's confidence growing. It could be mown down, but that was a low tackle. Well, it should have been a free kick because it brought him undone. Surely that was a trip. Danger though still. Roughhead arriving, but so's Gilbert. Good hands from Sam Gilbert low down. On his wrong side. Fiora. Skidding ball. Oh, young Armitage. But Harvey able to steal and give it back to him. Saints have got to start doing some scoring. Revolt has been well controlled in the second half. He's under pressure here and he doesn't have a lot of supporters. Bateman for Hawthorn. Hawks with the numbers. Sewell to Birchall. Coming in board on that preferred side. McGlynn. Hathard's got him high. Free kick to Hawthorn.
36 minutes of game time since St Kilda's last goal.
50-metre penalty for kneeing after the free kick against Montagna. This is a huge call, and this could just about seal the game for the Hawks.
Well, Adhard put the tackle on, and Montagna came in late, and the umpire said, you put the knee in. Look at number 11.
Now that was the reason for the 50. So,
what do you think, Tim?
Yeah, I reckon a good decision.
Ben McGlynn has been brought to within 15 metres from goal. This to make it 27 the difference.
What did you make of it, Rob? The umpires are pretty hot on that these days.
Yeah, I thought it was fair enough. But the free kick's been given away there. And Montagna's just come in late and unnecessarily.
Ben McGlynn gives Hawthorn a 27-point lead, and the Hawks look to be on their way to their first win over St Kilda in 5 outings. Harvey pokes it forward and Blake receives. Hasn't gone other than over the mark, so he gets a second go here. Revolt has to mark it. No, he doesn't. Gehrig can kick the goal. Well played by the G-Train. He'll never be Kevin Bartlett, but that wasn't bad.
As Ben Dixon prepares to come back on after a 38-minute drought, St Kilda has kicked its 4th goal of the match. Franklin's back on. It's the Hawks by 21. Mitchell over to Lewis. Franklin's back on. He nudges his opponent under the ball. Now Buddy Franklin. That is an ambitious kick. Good effort by Sam Fisher to continue to harass despite being knocked off the ball by Buddy. So free kick to the Saints in the back pocket. Taken by Voss. So he kicks to a contest. It'll be Ricks against Taylor. Sewell fed it out nicely to Crawford. He's got loose men in the middle if he can pick up the ball. Smith. to Birchall. Out wide to Ladson. And his kick will find Lewis.
It's all happening at the wrong end for St Kilda. That's a good kick from Lewis.
Good play, Lewis, Tim. That was possession number 30, and it was bullet-like to Buddy. And just a few holes starting to open up in that St Kilda defence.
Franklin goalless for the night, and he remains so.
He's an amazing player, isn't he? 9 goals 2 weeks ago, and hasn't got close tonight. He'll have those days as a young player, but boy, gee, he's got some talent.
4 behinds for Franklin.
He's up to 24-21 for the year, so converting at about 50%.
Sam Fisher had to get that just right. He did to Voss, to Harvey. Now Koschitzki, who's had little impact tonight. St Kilda still have time to win this match. They need 4 goals. It sounds ridiculous. They've only kicked 4 for the night. Here's Barry Brooks, the King Islander, the man from Grassy. Pumps along in the revolt direction. He's one out. Harvey roved him well. What's he been able to make of that?
Oh, he bananaed it. He knew what he was doing. It just didn't quite come off.
Great camera work to supported Rob Harvey. Saints need goals. Behinds. Here's another opportunity. Gilbert. Mitchell's been outstanding for the Hawks. And away he goes again. Kicks into vacant space. Forces the forwards to
Kick
lead, but
kick
Paul
for touch.
He
Knew what he was doing, Sam Mitchell.
Oh, he's been penalised.
Oh, no.
Well, you said it, Rob.
Oh, yeah, but gee, that's tough. Listen to the Hawk fans.
Revolt is a long way from home. Short one to Ball. And mark's taken by Koschitzki. Here's a kick for Fiora. Wasn't a great kick, but he managed to shrug the Smith tackle, but then had a fresh airy. Hawks get it back. Mitchell had nowhere to go. He's going to have to be precise here with this kick, and he is. He finds Campbell. Out to Gillam. His kick finds Birchall. Chips to Osborne. And his kick finds Lewis, who's about to have his 31st disposal. He's had 31, Mitchell 30, Crawford 25 for the Saints, 32 to Fisher, and 24 to Harvey. Good kick, finds Young. Has been called a play on. Kick finds Osborne. Kicks in the direction of Franklin, and he's taken the mark. Now he's missed, 4 relatively easy goals tonight. Maybe he'll get the hard one. He's on his correct side. He'll just try and run around here and perhaps seal the issue. Here he goes, Franklin. 5 behinds tonight for Lance Franklin.
Six and a half minutes left. Could still be 1. Revolt. Don't look at me like that, Walsey.
Where have you been the last 2 hours?
Fiora to Del Santo, who's been very well contained by Brad Sewell. That's dangerous. Oh, Harvey waited because he thought Gwilt was going to grab it. Franklin helped it to Boyle. from a long way. It can't be won now. The Hawks have got this. They've got it by the throat.
Another example, Tim, of St Kilda's concentration and skill breaking down, and they've gone the kick across the half-back line. That ball travels a fair distance. It's gone to Harvey, but there's too much hang time in it. Enables the Hawks to get a hand on it, bring it to ground, and Boyle, of course, finishes off. So I reckon Ross Lyon would be pretty disappointed with the decision-making and skills of his team in this game, particularly the second half.
So the Hawks are going to win this match and move on to 5 wins, 3 losses in season 2007. Kazitsky pinches it out of the ruck. The Saints have kicked only 2 goals in the last hour of football. Montagna, that's a good kick. Into the goal square. Gehrig wrestles, Gehrig marks. So Fraser Gehrig for his second goal in this last quarter. And he does just that.
He's hurt himself in the process.
We've seen him do that before, haven't we? When he's run around and...
I think he might have gout.
There was the Montagna kick, and Gehrig one out with Crode. Good mark.
Hands in the front there from the G train. That's okay. Fraser Gehrig, unused to kicking with the right foot, just seems to have twinged something. He saw the ridiculous side of it with a bit of a smile as he went hobbling away after his second goal. Margin 22. Still more than 5 minutes left. Fiora turning it over. Brad Sewell, big contribution tonight. Ladson mown down. Mitchell always cool. Took a while, but got it off. Birchall. And now Bateman. So we're into the last 5 minutes. And time is the Hawks' friend, as Chance Bateman knows. So does Brent Guerra. And they can just soak up as much of it as the Saints will allow them to.
Well, Chance Bateman called for the slow down signal, and it's hard to know how they can go much slower than they've been.
Not a great placement from Guerra. Kazitsky. Really, the Saints have got to go for territory, surely. But there is absolutely nothing to go to. This is old battle of the half-back line stuff, and this is Birchall.
He goes to Hodge. We'll switch over to Mitchell. About to have his 30-second disposal. It's a little short one to Ladson. 10 touches for the quarter for Sam Mitchell. He's also had 5 clearances. Here's Hawthorn's next month. The West Coast Eagles down in Tassie. That'll be a fascinating contest. And they've got the Power, the Swans and the Blues.
It's an interesting 3 weeks, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting because it's a bit of a graveyard, isn't it, for teams, the old Aurora Stadium, so it'll be interesting to see how the Eagles handle it.
I think the Hawks have won 9 of 13 down there, and they are just playing keepings off at the moment, and happy to, because they've got a nice lead, 22-point lead, less than 5 minutes on the clock.
The Saints have got the Dockers next Friday night, then the Cats, the Roos and the Eagles also over in the West.
7 successive marks.
That's a tough month for St Kilda. There's not a gimme in that.
And St Kilda desperately need to get some names like this back into the team. Raph Clark, Xavier Clark, Graham, Hayes, Maguire, Thompson, and dare I say it, Hamill, who it just seems hasn't been heard of for a long, long while. Baker's another one, and even Doc Clark.
And Michael Gardner hasn't played yet.
Yeah, well, Michael Gardner, I think he played a half for Springvale last week, but at this stage hasn't given his new club anything.
Birchall.
Ross Lyon would be filthy
wide.
with the last 2 minutes of play because they're not manning up. The Saints and Hawthorn are just chipping it round as easy as you like.
Smith looks for Roughhead, and that's a very strong mark. He's a big unit. And he kicked a couple of game-breaking goals in the third quarter. Taylor leads on from Franklin. No mark. Yes, he's paid it. Advantage paid. No, it's coming back to Franklin.
No
who has
advantage
kicked
off the mark.
5 behinds for the Knights.
It was 20 marks in a row, Quarters.
Yeah.
They have just had 20 marks in a row and have wiped 2.5 minutes off the clock. And Alistair Clarkson will be happy with that because when you're in this position, you just deny the opposition the footy. They can't score if they haven't got it, and the clock comes down.
So Franklin for his first goal for the Knights. He's got one at last. And in the end, it's going to be a pretty big win for the Hawks.
Well, we said 11 or 12 goals would win it. As it's turned out, 6 goals would win it.
In fact, I said 10 or 11 would win it pretty easily. 9 will win this very easily.
Sam Fisher has to be given credit because he's done a really good job on one of the hottest players going around at the moment. And Sam Fisher played on Barry Hall last week and did well.
A 5-goal final quarter from Hawthorn. In the context of this game, it's like kicking 12 or 15 in a quarter. And there might be more to come. Franklin leading the defenders to the ball, but not able to mark that. Might have been a bit lucky to be paid that mark a moment ago that led to his first goal. Look at that, 53-15 for the quarter. Hawthorn controlling the ball, and St Kilda's control over its disposal breaking down from about halfway through the third quarter.
And the kicks this quarter 72-31.
Ross Lyon would have mixed feelings about this. Disappointment, obviously, but this is a severely weakened St Kilda team. It was asking a lot for them to go out and win against a much improved Hawthorn outfit. What a good mark by Roughhead. He's kicked a couple, and that might be his third. Hawthorn are romping away.
I reckon that showed the skill of Roughhead. In a one-on-one contest,
Bit of class, wasn't it?
he used a bit of body, kept his opponent out of it, juggled it on the one hand, have a look at it here, and then just swooped and thumped. And that will gladden the hearts of Hawk supporters because not only can Buddy Franklin do that, this fella can too.
Well, Jared Roughhead's third goal for the night was his best. Bit of class about that one. And the Hawks are powering away at the MCG.
And of course, with the Hudson not playing, Maguire not playing, it just means that a player like Brett Voss is standing Roughhead at the moment, and Roughhead just towers over him. Have a look at that for a mismatch.
Describe it, Quarters. Pretty exciting passage of play. Very crowded around there, isn't it? Fiora climbing in and getting his first hit out for the night. Harvey to ball. Campbell Brown from one side. And the youngsters, Sweeney from the other. Now Burse. High ball, Brooks taken under it. Blake bombing high, wobbling its way through. That's the 9th goal of the quarter, and that's the end of the match. Little consolation in that last goal for the Saints because Hawthorn have won by 28 points.